All right, we want to come in here, and this is what we did yesterday in class. I looked at this practice spreadsheet one on Google Sheets, and I have all these people. I've made a border around everything and centered all the information. But what I want to do is I want to sort the information. Maybe I want to sort these names here in column A, or maybe I want to sort it by money. So what I'm going to do, let's say I want to sort by name. So if I click in the cell A2 and then I drag down, that would help me sort those names. The problem is if you do that, you're not going to be taking their age nor the amount of money they have with them. So you got to make sure that when we do this, we highlight all the information that we want to take and be sorted. I want to make sure it takes with Rick his age of 9 and his money of 55. What I'm going to do to sort it, I'm going to come to data. I'm going to go to sort. Now you have all these up top. Sort the sheet, sort the range. I always just like to come to sort range right there so that I can decide here, hey, do I want to sort it by column A, which would be their name, or maybe I want to go ahead and change it to column B by their age, or maybe column C by the amount of money they have. And I also have the options of going from A to Z alphabetically or Z to A backwards. Let's say that we want to just do it by their name. So we want column A, and we're going to go A to Z. We say sort. And now you see it changed everything. It took the information with it. Bob is now first, then Joe, then Rick, then Sam. Well, maybe we've changed our mind. I'm going to go back to sort range, and I'm going to do it by the money they have, column C. I sometimes do this when I'm sorting things on an Amazon or Best Buy. I go from lowest price to highest. So in this case, I'm going to sort from, I want to know who has the most money. So I'm going to sort of reverse the order. Instead of A to Z, I'm going to go Z to A, which is going to be the furthest back. In other words, in this case, money, it's going to be who has the most. And you'll see it sorted it by Rick has the most money, then Joe at 40. Then you can see Bob here at 30, and then Sam at 2. So there's what we wanted to just work on the practice one is sorting information. And again, you simply come to data because you're sorting your data, which is all the information in your spreadsheet. And we simply want to sort things. Okay, now I don't have anything highlighted, so you'll notice right here, sort range, it's like, hey, you don't have any information highlighted, I can't sort it. But that's how we do sort things. All right, we're going to close that. I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to open up my sheets. I'm going to look at practice 2. Here's the other one we did. This has the name, it has their bank account, money spent, new account. Now, I'm going to go ahead and make her a little larger for us to see. I'm going to go ahead and highlight all this, and I like to, as normal, center it, and I like to put a border around it. It just looks cleaner to me. I'm not worried about sorting their names. I'm not worried about putting those in alphabetical order. What I'm concerned with is figuring out this amount. So Billy had $550 in the bank, and he spent $22. How are we going to figure out the new amount that he has left? Well, we know we want to do the 550 minus 22. But what we don't want to do is just say, oh, equals 550 minus 22, because one of those cells might change. So whenever we're putting a formula in, we always do it by the cell, like this cell times this cell, or cell D7 times cell C6, or maybe cell A1 minus cell A2. In this case, we want to do this cell minus this cell. So we want cell B2 minus cell C2. So right here, we wanted to subtract those. That's where we wanted to put our answer. So we're going to type equals to tell it, hey, it's a formula. And we're going to say B2. We can type B2 minus, and if we want, we can tap C2. And then I just hit enter. And it says, hey, 528. Notice the reason this is great is let's say we accidentally didn't mean 22. We meant 225. We just forgot the 5 on it. When I hit enter, it changes the amount right there to 325 right here, 325. It changes it because every time you hit enter, any place there's an equal sign, it ends up reevaluating and recalculating it and figuring it out. Now we could come here and type the same formula, equals B3 minus C3. We could come here and type equals the B4 minus the C4. But what we want to do, especially if we're a bank here and we have 1,000 customers, we don't want to have to enter the formula 1,000 times. We want to go ahead and fill that formula down throughout the whole thing. So what we're going to do is we'll come into this cell right here. you'll notice that it has this little marking right there. And you got to click on it and then drag down, and it fills the formula in for you. And now we can see, if I click in there, you can see right in here, it has the formula B3 minus C3. It fills the formula in. That's a fill down. That's a very handy if you got to put a lot of formulas in that's the same formula. Just fill the same formula all the way down. Now let's take a look. Let's close that. And what we want to take a look, we want to go ahead and look at sheet 3. Practice 3 here. We have a lot of information. And there's a few things wrong here that we want to look at fixing. First, I want to come to right here. This says pay per, it says something. Now I could take it and I could move up in here and try to spread it out so we could see what it is. But maybe that then slides all the information over and we don't want that. We sort of want that column to stay that size. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go to right here, text wrapping. I'm going to wrap that text, the pay per hour. And I just say, hey, wrap that. And now it's all wrapped pay per hour. And we could center it to make it look a little prettier. We could center everything to make it look prettier. We also have the same problem here with total paycheck. It's sort of extending. We don't want that. So again, I'm going to come to the format, text wrapping, and wrap it. That looks a little bit better. Now, the other thing I'm noticing is right here, that hours worked that's in cell B1, I want it to be over top of this Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I want it from here to here. I want it centered up there. So what I need is I need this cell B1 to that cell D1. I need all those put together. That's going to be a merge. So what we're going to do is we're going to come here to merge cells, and we'll just say, hey, merge all those cells together. Now hours worked, notice, is all B1 to D1, and I can center it. And now it's over top of that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So those are a couple of things we want to do. Let's go ahead and figure out what's going on here. So we have Tom right here. Tom's right here. He works 6 hours on Monday, 7 on Tuesday, and 4 on Wednesday. So how are we going to figure out the total hours he worked? Well, there's two options here. We could say equals cell B3 plus cell C3 plus D3, and then hit enter, and we have our answer. And then we could fill down. The other option that we could do, and that's perfectly fine if you have just a few pieces of data, but imagine that we have a whole bunch we want to add. So we sort of want to use the sum function if we have more than 2 pieces of data, in my opinion. So I'm going to say equals, and I'm going to use the formula sum. And then I put a parenthesis. It actually gives you an example here. All you're going to do is you're going to say, I want sum, which is the answer to a bunch of things added. You got to tell it where to start. Where do we want it to start? We want it to start in cell B3 and then go through. You put a colon. We want it to go through to D3. So we're sort of telling it the starting point and the stopping point. And then we hit enter and we have 17. Now we can move our cursor here. In the 17, I can grab that little corner, turns to the little plus sign, drag down, and it filled the formula in for me. Now what I want to figure out is total paycheck. We know Tom worked 17 hours, got $14 an hour. So how are we going to figure out his total paycheck? We simply want to multiply. Hey, you worked 17 hours times the 14 you get per hour, and that'll be your answer. So we'll type equals cell E3. The multiplication is the little star, as y'all like to say, the little asterisk. And we'll put it, we need to do E3 times F3. I'm just going to type F3. That's right. You hit the shift key and the 8 to get that multiplication sign. And you have $238. Then we could click here. We can move our little cursor to create our plus sign, drag down, and it fills in the formula for us, and we have everything. If we want to see our formulas because we're not sure what's going on, we can click View and Show Formulas, and it shows all our formulas for us. There you have it. That's what we did in class yesterday.